All right, what's going on, everybody? Brad here, Top Tier Physical Therapy. One of the most common complaints I see in my CrossFitters and Olympic lifters is pain in the back of the wrist, specifically when they're going through extension type movements when that arm is loaded. A lot of the times this is happening in the front rack position, and this is a great example of how addressing just the isolated area of someone's pain may not facilitate the long-term gains that we're trying to see. Now, what can happen when they're experiencing this pain in the front rack position can be traced to poor mobility in either their elbow, their shoulder, or their thoracic spine, which is causing pain in the wrist. We can certainly do things to address their wrist pain, but if we're not addressing those other things like in the elbow, the shoulder, and the thoracic spine, we're not going to see these long-term gains. So if someone has mobility limitations in any other area of the shoulder or the elbow, you're going to see a front rack position that looks more like this. So with that position, you can easily see how much load is pushed through the fingers and causing that person to go through loaded wrist extension, which doing that enough over time can certainly cause pain. If we can go through some movements that will improve my shoulder, elbow, and thoracic spine mobility, you may start to get them into a front rack position that looks more like this, where now you can see most of the bar is resting on the shoulders, taking a lot of pressure off of the wrist, even though it is still going through wrist extension. Some of my favorite and go-to movements to improve front rack mobility outside of the wrist would be a rack supported tricep stretch, a banded lat stretch, some thoracic extensions on a bench, and then some dowel external rotation stretching for my shoulder. So really what we're doing for these patients is looking at the full picture, not just focusing in on their wrist, but looking at other areas close by that may be contributing to why this wrist pain is hurting. If we're just addressing the wrist, sure, their pain will reduce, but if we never address the root cause of their problem, they're likely not going to have long-term gains, and eventually this pain may return.